Hello everyone and welcome back to WCS Korea Season 2, a round of 8 for the Star League. We have 2 games done between Innovation and Soulkey, a rematch of last season's finals in the round of 8.
Yep.
And Innovation is up 2-0, some fantastic games so far.
And now we have Guangali Beach being the next map and potentially the last map of the day if Innovation is able to edge out another victory here. Soulkey had a quick break and he needs to come up with a strategy here that he can use to finally put a crack into Innovation's defense.
Now, I'm a little bit nervous just because I seem to recall every time I cast with you, the games are really quick and I go home early. So I'm a little bit afraid that this might end just because of that.
You mean that's the Kaldor curse?
That's the Kaldor curse, is that the games are really quick and you're like, oh, I was expecting to cast for like another hour, but okay.
I don't think that's the thing.
Well, we'll see if this ends right here. Then
you put it down on an Innovation series. That is not really fair.
It's against Soulkey. Come on, that's ridiculous. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Innovation, but I already said I think he's going to win this.
So he can win at 3-2.
I think Guangali is going to be pretty tough for Soulkey.
Which means the Kaldor curse is real. That's all I'm saying.
That is definitely not a thing.
Could be. All right. So these guys seem like they're ready to go. Guangali, I want to see a Roach Bane all in. I think he has to roll a die to randomize which one it is, so it's not too...
He needs to do something. I feel in a straight-up game on this map, he's not going to win it, just because this map is, in particular, just too straightforward and very difficult for Soulkey to make his style happen.
Yeah.
Against Innovation, that just seems to be a bit impossible. If he hits him with a good timing, I feel that's the way that he can win here.
I would tend to agree with you. And don't forget, he definitely used a lot of those against Innovation. In the finals, when they played against each other before, so far he's been trying to use a little bit more macro. Well, I guess the Roach timing was kind of a timing, but it was without Baneling, so it was like a different type of timing attack he did. But at least that first game, pure macro the whole way. And damn, he almost won that too. I wish he had, because I am afraid this might end right now.
Yeah, me too. I would really hope to see a few additional games between the two of them because the matches itself, they're very entertaining. But Innovation, I mean, I'm just really scared to just see him play against. I have no idea what he could possibly do against him.
Yeah, well, other than Soulkey, I don't know that there's anyone that can do anything against him. Like, I think Soulkey is doing well enough that first game could have easily gone to Soulkey.
Yeah. And this matchup in particular, he's just too strong.
It seems that way. It truly does. Well, we'll see, man. This is what happened to Soulkey before. He went down 0-3 in front of a lot more people than are in that studio right now and still came back. So there's absolutely the chance that he comes back and wins this.
But I personally think that this is not going to happen to Innovation again anytime soon. That's something that happens to you once, and then you're like, okay, no matter what it takes, if I have to change my strategy 180 every single time I go into a new map, I'm going to just hit you with so many different things that you will fall at least to one of them.
Do you think there's any chance that Innovation cheeses here? He's up 2-0. I know that you think the map is probably pretty good for just a straight push, but what if he just does a cheese himself?
I thought about that too. It's just like that the spots where you could actually proxy are quite well known on this map. And Soulkey in every single game that we've seen so far sent out the drone scout and scouted the vicinity of his base. So given that, I feel Innovation is most likely not going to do it, and his coach will have told him, you know, he scouted every single time. On every map, he sent out a drone in addition to the overlords that he had there. So be a little bit careful if you really want to pull that off.
To be honest, I think the best move right here for Innovation would probably be to, like, kind of like what Maru was doing, where you go for the command center first, into Hellion, and then 2 more Raxes. Because when you go for a build like that, it's not so greedy. It won't die to nearly as much. You're actually going to have enough that you're just like, if a random timing comes from Soulkey, he's going to have a lot of units. He should be able to stop it then.
I feel that Soulkey, or Innovation rather, is most likely going to expect the timing here too. I would be surprised if that's not the case.
That's a good build for him then.
I would really like to see him, first of all, play safe, and second of all, like really get scouting out on the map so that he knows exactly what he's confronted with.
Do you think he should open Reaper?
Not really. I feel that the command center first build that we've seen on a map like this is still pretty valid. If you get that on the high ground, you are very safe against it. And
unless you're playing against cats.
Huh? Yeah.
Unless you're playing against cats, and then
Yeah, cats will of course hit you with that early base at your natural. I feel he could open with a Reaper, but so far he fed very well with the builds that he was using. So why change the MO right now?
yeah, I don't really want to see him go Reaper that much. But you know, the Reaper opening is definitely something you can do if you really need to scout what they're doing and be super safe that way. But
I feel he can get the scout as it is, and with everything that she showed today, he doesn't need to rely on it. Reaper opening is really great if you don't know what's going on. You want to be super safe, but I feel that Innovation can still pull it off with the early command center and just getting that on the high ground and then playing a strength that he did in the last few maps. Because that map, in my opinion, is just working much better for him than map number 1 and map number 2. So why change it up exactly here?
sure. All right, so we should be getting this going anytime now. This is Piggyback Broadcast, as Tasis always says. By the way, he is sick today. You might be just tuning in and be like, what happened to Tasis? Why is he just so handsome and bald and muscly? I don't remember him quite being like this. And what's with the accent as well? No, that's Caldor. That's Caldor. Thank you for coming down today, Caldor. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. It's at Caldor, and that's spelled with an H in there somewhere. So you can figure that out. And then, of course, I am Artosis. And call me Tasteless. Make sure you tweet at him and let him know that you hope he feels better soon.
And it looks like we are actually going into the game. At least we have the players on screen right now. Soulkey with the O2, of course. He looks a little bit concerned into the camera. Innovation with the usual calm. That aura that he has. And the countdown has started, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going into that third game. It could be the last map of the day if Innovation continues his series here. But Soulkey, he will definitely have a plan. Is it going to be successful? We're going to find out right now on map number 3, Gwangali Beach at the WCS Premier League. Soulkey against Innovation.
She's living with the shame, but she's not to blame.
Okay, so down here in the bottom left, our Zerg player, he has to win now or he's out. He is.
Grandmaster, Wongjin Star Soulkey.
Soulkey with good performance so far, but he is up against a Terran player who seems to be invincible. Starting to the top right.
Grandmaster, STXO Innovation.
Alright, now we get to see what these guys have planned. No SCVs leaving the base, okay.
It doesn't look like we have a proxy on early pool, at least not just yet. The second overlord has also been started for Soulkey. So far we don't see that drone scout moving out, but the overlord already on the way to the top right to get a glimpse at the natural.
Alright, so I guess we just sit back, relax, and watch these builds unfold. It'll take a couple minutes to figure out what these guys are actually going to be up to, but it looks completely standard to open.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to have any kind of shenanigans, but you can see the second overlord immediately trying to get close to those spots where you usually see a proxy build. He neglects the drone scout this time, but I don't really think he needs it. He's actually having a little bit of a glimpse here with the drone, at least in the main base, but we have the hatch first as expected. And for Innovation, exactly as predicted, the command center first. So the builds that we thought we would see.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not really all that hard to predict some of these builds on some of these maps. You know, you just kind of go through. It's like, how good is his opponent in comparison to him? They both realize this. Okay, what builds are reasonable for these levels on this map? All right, there you go.
Yeah. Really, exactly like a very, very safe and stable play from the two of them. And of course, the one question that we already asked earlier, will Soulkey use one of those two base timings? And that's something that he definitely could do. Innovation will start to get those scouting informations now. And let's see how Soulkey is going to play it, because I feel he's the player that we have to watch. The pressure is on him.
Definitely. And you know, he does have the very quick gas as well. Now, this could just be for speed, but there's a lot of different things he can actually do with this. You could even go for a Baneling bust if you really wanted to. In fact, I believe he did do that in the finals one game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure on Whirlwind he did
the Whirlwind game, yeah, that was very unfortunate when he exploded those those Banelings and the Hellions got so many hits off. That's a map that he should have actually won. He was trying to anticipate the movement of the Hellions with those when he moved the Banelings, and unfortunately made a slight error, and that might have cost him the game back then. It was definitely part of it. But now we have that fast speed. We talked about the early gas already.
And, the fast speed, it has a lot of different things it can do for him. He can, try to stop any early Hellions. He can have, of course, map control, keep scouts off the map, and perhaps mask something else that he's doing, whether that's a quick third or, that's some sort of cheesy play that he wants to do.
Overlord taking position right on top of that docking bay, and we have the Zergling starting to whittle away the hit points of that potential third base that he can get a bit later. For Innovation, on the other hand, we have now, as expected, the factory. He can start to get those Hellions out to force the creep back a little bit and maybe even sneak into the main base and get a glimpse of what's going on. The wall has been started too. Both of them playing very, very safe here.
Yeah. It's exactly as you would expect. Now, Soulkey, we'll see pretty soon here if he puts some more drones on gas, if he throws down another hatchery. With just 2 Lings attacking those rocks, do you think he's more likely as a third base to take the one that's in the water, that kind of like pockety expand?
Well, even if he takes the third, he doesn't necessarily have to saturate it. He could still go for one of those timings. The Roach Binning timing that you were mentioning earlier is usually executed on roughly 34 to 37 harvesters, and he is reaching that number right now. So if we see that third base and he starts saturating it, we will actually have him going into a long drawn out game, and there's the third base already. He's still at 36 harvesters, so now he has to make that choice. But let's see how he's going to play this. I just cannot see him go into a long macro game against a player who demolished him twice now in that style.
Well, he's getting a 4th queen and a 2nd gas, so I'm not completely sure what his plan is here. Obviously, he wants to get some more creep spread out there.
And he's droning up.
Yeah, it's...
Ooh. Innovation, look at that. Like, we talked about this in before the game started, that he's most likely going to expect some kind of timing.
Yeah.
And he gets a siege tank.
Just blindly goes into that siege tank. So that's actually, I really like it. I think that's a smart move. He's up a game and he probably thinks, I can make a siege tank or 2 on this map and still be completely fine when I start my push.
And that really comes to play if Soulkey goes for timing, but it looks like he doesn't. So that will be really good for him. Both of them going now in double evolution, Shaman Engineering Wave for the upgrades. And the Hellions still on the map, trying to get a bit of an idea what's going on there, especially, of course, eyeing down those potential bases for the Zerg. Zergling run by, shouldn't do too much with the wall for Innovation, just being ready at the bunker.
Creep spread getting better and better. So there's slight Hellion containment there, with only a couple Hellions, of course. I really like how he's mixing in, making like just 2 Hellions, and we saw that from Maru earlier on when he made just 1 Hellion. It's really nice to see, because you don't necessarily need all of them to have them have a very similar effect.
He actually moved that siege tank back to make sure that the Overlord doesn't scout it. So right now, Soulkey still doesn't know that he's up against a tank that can help. And with the faster layer tech, it's going to be really interesting to see how Soulkey's going to play this. He's taking a lot of gas here. He's on 4 gases right now. Only the 2 at the third base are being neglected so far.
Do you think we're going to see a Spire pop up?
I actually think that's most likely what's going to happen here. I just don't know if I really like that all too much.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice for the map. He hasn't done a lot of the things that he actually did previously to make the Spire tech work out. Like before, he had delayed the third base of Innovation quite a bit with the Broadlings. Of course, I guess if you're going to take this third, you can't really do that because there's rocks over it.
I would not like a Spire just because, like, on this map in particular, it's not the best Mutalisk map. There are better maps out there for Mutalisk. He's getting the Spire regardless. There's not a lot of dead space, especially in the main base, that you can use to get away with a Mutalisk, so you might find yourself trapped here.
Well, hopefully that is not the case for Soulkey. I think everyone would like to see this go beyond a 3-0 from Innovation.
Yeah.
We do have an additional hatch, the 4th base, as well as a macro hatch. I really do like that about Soulkey's play. He's very good about getting his macro hatch at an appropriate time. His 1-1 about to finish, and Baneling speed starting up.
Yeah. Baneling speed coming into play right away. The 1-1 is also nearly done for Innovation here, and with the timing for the Armory, we'll see him head into 2-2 immediately after that. The Widow Mines are starting to be out. He would like to get those scouting information out so that he knows, okay, what exactly he's up against. What I really like, by the way, about Soulkey is how he's spreading his creep. He's spreading it everywhere, not just straight towards his opponent, but even that small highway that we have here is completely covered.
Well, I have to say, I think that's really important. Look at this. He's just baiting him around. This is actually a scout medevac, nothing inside of it. But he does see that Spire about to finish, so really good job by him. Now, but yeah, about that creep, Kaldor, I think that's a really great idea because he's going to have to be very mobile with his Zerglings for counterattacks and whatnot, and seeing any drops that kind of come to the side and then stim and try to run into those bases is going to be a lot easier with creep there.
And we have Marines now just walking across the map. Innovation is on 1-1. He doesn't have the combat shield completed yet, but he wants to put some pressure on his opponent now that he doesn't have the Mutalisks just yet. And to the top right, the 3-base economy is going strong. 4 bases here for Soulkey. Creep spread is going down. No combat shield just yet. He has to be careful against the Banelings.
He certainly does. Baneling speed is about to finish. Not quite done yet. He just needs a moment, and there it is. It is finished, and he is rolling for that. It's a lot of units, but oh my god, a lot of them taken down right there.
These splits are just stunning. They are so good, and he's moving in again, and still without the combat shield. So those Marines can get a lot of damage here done. Lifts in the last second, and now the upgrade finally comes into play.
These rallies just so strong from Innovation, saving so many units just by rallying non-stop down. But Soulkey has basically stabilized here. You know, there's going to be non-stop aggression here from Innovation, but we're going to have 2-2 for Soulkey. He's making a lot of speed banes. He's got his 4 bases up. This doesn't look bad for him.
Yeah, not necessarily. He had 1 base, and he has a pretty good position here. The question, of course, is also if Soulkey is really going to be able to do some damage, because Innovation, he's sitting tight on his 3 bases. He has Widow Mines. He has started with his own missile turrets. So he's in a very similar situation. On 3-base economy as a Terran player, you're not feeling too shabby.
All right, well, he is pushing forward once again, leading with those couple of Widow Mines. Going to want to get those burrowed, and this is... Soulkey has to be so careful here. If there's a good Widow Mine or Blast or 2, that can actually end the game.
Upgrades are going to be an issue in the next battle, since Soulkey is already done, or will be done, with the +2 armor upgrade in a second. So he will have the edge here.
And in fact, it is finished. His +2 melee attack about to finish as well. And a lot of Lings and Banes do, in fact, run in here.
That's such a massive army for Soulkey that is engaging right now. But Innovation doing a really good job, trading quite well here and rallying his reinforcements in immediately. The transition now happening for the Zerg, going straight into that infestation pit and still ahead in the upgrades, up to the point where Innovation will complete the second armor upgrade.
All right, so he is about to have +1 Mutalisk attack. He is getting Burrow as well. We'll see if he can actually get any use out of that, because Innovation is just on his doorstep non-stop. I don't think Burrowed Banelings are going to do too much yet.
Yeah, he's getting ahead every single time, so I completely agree with you there.
You know, I really love how he's using those umbrellas as well. Really nice play there.
A little bit shade for the Marines.
Yeah.
Can understand it perfectly.
Zoning out a little bit. And Soulkey, again, he has to be very, very careful with how he engages this right now. This is such a scary push. And that's a little choke right there that's going to be hard for him to actually end up going through, especially with the Siege Tank and that many Widow Mines.
And Innovation this time, not getting his 3-3. That's okay, here we go. But we have a flank from behind, moving in and trying to just make sure that the Terran can't retreat.
Such a beautiful flank coming in, but is it actually enough? The Mutalisks start to break through. They do get rid of that Siege Tank as well. He keeps the Mutas alive, but still Innovation pushing forward with the same supply as before.
The bank is gone at this point for Soulkey, and that is becoming a really big issue. Those Banelings might never see the light of day. They just barely finish. A few of them already taken out, and he cancels another 2. Here come the Mutalisks trying to take down the Medivacs, but the reinforcements for Innovation are always there when he needs them. But I really like that Hive tech for him. That timing is going to work out well.
Yeah, but you know, he lost several Mutas there, and that makes me a little bit scared for him. But he does have the 4 bases. His drone count is at an insane 83 right now, and he hasn't lost too much ground. So he's still doing all right.
This is a little bit like a Dragon Ball Z battle where both of them are just shooting their race against each other, and so far it looks like it might tilt a little bit in Innovation's favor, at least for now. But Soulkey, he still holds. We find ourselves in the same position over and over again.
Yeah, you know what? He's got his 3-3 on the way. No 3-3 on the way for Soulkey. Both players approaching that max ever so quickly. What is he going to do with the Hive tech here? He's getting Adrenal Glands before anything else. I really do like that, but I'd love to see 3-3 if he can afford it.
Yeah, he needs that to stay on top of his upgrades and to make sure that Innovation later on just doesn't get that momentum. And every second counts at this point. Innovation is also now sending a Medivac across the map that has, of course, been spotted by all those creep tumors. But this draws the Mutalisks to the left and opens up a path for the rest of the army.
Yeah, and he is taking that path right now, Kaldor, pushing forward. He doesn't bring the mines with him. He's just going to try to lure units back. And in fact, he does beginning to. Whoa, those Marauders eating up a lot of Baneling hits.
And he took down the gas. That helps him him a little bit, but this bank is now starting to work up for Soulkey again, and he can replenish his forces. But the supply advantage for now goes to the Terran player.
This certainly does, but you know what? We do have the 3-3 finally started. That's nice. The thing is, 3-3 is going to finish up for Innovation here very, very shortly, and Soulkey just continues making Ling Bane Muta. How long can that truly last against the 3-3 maxed army of Innovation?
The bank is gone for Soulkey, and Innovation has still more supply. He's moving in. You can really see that he's able to push a little bit further forward every single time he engages. Here comes Soulkey trying to push him back, but he's just not able to break through here. And any second, 3-3 is going to be done.
Yeah, it's so bad. What can Soulkey do even on the 4 bases with amazing macro, keeping his minerals and gas so low? His injects have been phenomenal. He has a ton of larvae still left over. Just doesn't really have the money to spend it all.
+3 attack is done. That upgrade lead is coming into play. Most of the Banelings are already gone. Innovation once again on the move forward. He's getting very close to that expansion. Takes down the Extractor once again. Puts the Widow Mines into position. An attempt by Soulkey to snipe them. Banelings running in. All of them being taken out. And now 20 supply down. The Wounding Stars player is in so much trouble.
He has a nice Muta's Clump, hasn't been able to do anything but engage with them all game, and that's not really what you want to do with Mutas. He's really never had an opportunity to do anything else, though. The Baneling's running through... Oh, well, that was bad.
Those
GG
Widow Mines.
right there, that's...
60 supply lead, the Widow Mines take the shots, most of the Mulings gone. This base is gonna be demolished in a second.
Yeah.
Here comes Innovation, moving in, going into the natural now as well, and just stimming his way to victory.
That's right. Little dance there from Soulkey. He knows already he's dead. No way to hold on after losing all that.
Golly Beach, just a map that is perfect for Innovation style.
It truly is, Galar. And, you know, Soulkey never really put in that cheesy play on this map, but that's okay. GG, he tried his best there with the macro play, but when you compare his early game, that game, against his early game on Newkirk Precinct, you can see that he really didn't have too much chance this game. I think all of his hopes and dreams were relying upon that one flank that we saw on Innovation's army. And when it wasn't quite enough, I think Soulkey probably was a little bit upset with that.
Innovation, just such an incredible play. You could really see that he edged forward every single time they engaged, just a tiny little bit. And at some point he was in range of the hatch. And then he took down the gas several times, moved forward, and was able to win that last battle. When those Mutalisks were taken out by the Widow Mines, that was basically game.
Yeah. Well, Innovation moves on. I can't say he doesn't deserve a top 4, that's for sure. Soulkey, you know, it's too bad. That's the toughest first round you could ever get for the bracket phase of the tournament.
Yeah, so we have today 2 Terran players advancing. We will see Maru going up against Innovation in a Terran versus Terran in the semifinal.
Yeah, that should be actually a pretty interesting one. Maru definitely with a different style, but Innovation gonna be a heavy favorite there, I think.
Yeah, but Soulkey here, I mean, he's crushed. A 3-0, that is not what you would expect here, so I definitely feel for him. Very, I mean, great performance by Innovation, just hands down.
Certainly. You can't deny that at all. But I gotta say, guys, make sure you recommend, especially game number 1, to anybody, because that was such a phenomenal game. Like, I feel every Zerg in the world could learn a lot from what Soulkey did there.
Especially with the burrowed Zerglings everywhere on the map. He had the perfect vision. That was really, really well executed.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our match results for the today. And, of course, we did have Maru going 3-1 against Symbol, and then Innovation 3-0 against Soulkey. Kind of surprising with the 3-0.
Yeah, the 2 Zergs fall out of the individual league of the WCS Korea, and we have the 2 Terrans advance to meet each other in the semi-final here.
Yep, and that'll be pretty fun. A Terran in the finals, that does mean. Now, guys, on Thursday, the day after tomorrow, same time, same place, it's going to be Rain going up against Supernova and Bomber going up against First. Yep. It's going to be awesome. Calder, you're smiling.
Yeah.
Bomber is not going to beat First.
Bomber is so
a loon.
Bomber is so going to win against First.
Will never, ever happen. All right, so it has been fun today, Calder.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming in.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah. I heard that you're going to be casting Challenger League tomorrow. or the day after.
I think the day after.
Day after, whenever it is. It's
Don't
Flying against
surprise
Parting.
me.
I always watch the VODs.
Okay.
True against Keen, Reality against Congo, and SOS against Curious. That's some
Yep.
insanely good matches.
Dude, we have like amazing games in the Challenger League.
Yeah, you really do. That's
the
true.
Matchups are insane and the players as well, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, make sure, guys, that you do definitely check that out. Very important. And thank you so much for watching. Good night.
Bye-bye.